presidential candidate who was turning out crowds. He leads an impressive grassroots-based campaign appealing to working-class farmers and citygoers. His campaign has been especially popular among Asian American voters.
Asian Americans have been overlooked in politics for far too long, and our campaign is changing that narrative.
I'm a part of this campaign because Michael Jung is reaching out to everyday voters.
However, it seems unlikely that candidate Kevin Jung will win the nomination. James Smith, more snooze at 5.
Kevin? My name is Michael! How did these small news stations get my name wrong?
This was the only interview we got this week. Didn't we have over 20,000 people at the last rally? Guess even that's not enough.
Our campaign's existed for almost a year now, and we're literally fourth in nationwide polling.
Hazel, did you reach out to larger news channels like MSNBC for interviews?
Yeah, I wrote them the most brilliant email. I mentioned the larger voter turnout. Michael's revolutionary stance as one of the first major Asian American presidential candidates, and what it means to me as an Asian American to be part of this movement. And, oh, they said no.
Ugh. Maybe if Hazel wasn't such a bad communications director.
One, I'm a great communications director. Two, maybe the speeches you write are just bad.
The speeches are only bad because you folks have been making me add bad jokes into them for the past few rallies. The jokes aren't funny. They're just stereotyping Asians.
So you also don't laugh when Mr. Jung proclaims that he knows a lot of doctors who can fix our healthcare system?
Right. The jokes aren't working. We're barely getting any coverage.
Oh, sorry. I was texting my mom pictures of me on TV. Aw, she says I look dapper. But I personally don't think the stereotypes are working either. They just perpetuate a cycle that started in the 19th century of scapegoating Asians to further white America's needs.
Hey now, let's not argue. I think the jokes we're adding are helpful in attracting other demographics. I'm not a big fan of stereotyping myself either, but we're getting the media to finally notice us, and that's what's most important, right?
Yeah.
6:30 and I'm running late, so I pray it will cooperate today. I whip out my comb and bottle of gel, and I go straight to work on my hair. First, I spray mist like a weapon of war, dousing, then drenching my head. If there's insufficient moisture, my hair will play stubborn. I hope it's enough. At 15, I got my first real cut in a salon on Main Street. I used to keep things meticulously short and simple, so the hairdresser, pleased I had asked for something new, rewarded me with a transformation. The style was nothing more than a left part in gel, but it gifted me belonging. Next, I liberally apply gel, running the grease through each and every strand to neutralize. I comb to the right, and a different me starts to emerge. A hairstyle is a step towards identifying with the abstract ideal of cool Asian, far removed from the boat, but still fresh, more Jeremy Lin than Karate Kid. I had tried to appropriate this image before. With my short-lived resale career and trips to Uniqlo to find out who caused this, but this would be a success. How hard could it be to maintain hair? Things go south fast. Large clumps of hair stick up, rebels without a cause, and my comb cannot suppress them. I rub more gel in, but the situation devolves. Now I'm half hair product, half mess, and I'm reeling from the mess I've made. After months of failing to recreate that original salon magic, I tried to switch it up. I scrolled through rows of image results for Asian male haircuts, but I couldn't imagine wearing someone else's style. Someone else who can easily use chopsticks to pick up a Shaolin bao without breaking skin, but who also can walk confidently down the streets of Flushing, bubble tea in hand, feeling comfortable in yellow skin. Asian male haircuts, why does nothing fit me? Given up, the hairdryer flushes me with hot shame, and all semblance of cool is gone. I will likely never have the Asian male haircut that I want, but it's becoming clear that I don't need Google to search for a cultural identity.
Every time I show up, every time I show up, in the mood, in the war, 나를 지수 없어. 눈빛이 아직 나를 이렇게 살게 해. 24, 365, 어쩌면 같이 아파. 아직도 이 밤에도 모든 남자들이 나를 착각, 대부분이 나를 가질 수 있다 착각. 절대 나는 것 같지 않은 마음을 원해. 넌 심장을 도려내보겠다. 아주 씩씩하게 또 씩씩하게 so hot 내가 어쩔 줄 모르게 해. 마지막 기분을 줘. 내 귓가에 좀 바람 바람 Can you hear that? We 바람 Can you hear that? Hold up.
끝날 줄 알아서 헤어지는 날 근데 다른 색깔 하나 버리다는 게 쉽지가 않네 미련하게도 미련이 남아 후회 비슷한 거네 잘 먹고 잘 살고 있어 너와 달리 나 받쳐주고 있네
Guide for second-generation Americans. For as long as I can remember, my parents have rarely said, I love you, only do your work, and why can't you speak Korean, and you can do better. I thought that if they didn't say I love you, they didn't love me. I thought that when I saw those perfect white families on TV, I was finally seeing love. I thought that if I could learn Korean, I could understand how my parents really felt about me. That if I knew their tongue, I could know why the words I love you never left their mouths. But do your work is just another way of saying, I want you to succeed. And why can't you speak Korean? Words I always heard as tinged with an air of disappointment actually mean satisfaction in knowing that my good English will lead me to a better life in America. And you can do better. 4 words I always thought were strung together with threads of discontent, I've only now begun to realize stand for, I'm proud of you. Whenever you want congratulations on second place, remember this just means your parents know you can get first. They may not voice their feelings, but the fruit they place next to you as you study at your desk is those feelings, cut and plated by tired hands, in place of a mouth which cannot say its pride in English, but wants to. And wear a jacket, a phrase I've only ever heard with nagging undertones and colored with condescension, I've finally learned to hear as I should. Not scolding or criticizing or bothering, but loving. Because these words mean I love you, when the words I love you themselves slip through the gaps of generations. These words mean I love you, though I haven't always known it. And though this guide isn't perfect, these words still mean I love you. So I hope you know it.
Better be our best article yet. When's the last time we had a hit piece? When we wrote about the time Justin Trudeau called Trump smelly. Smelly. Whoa. There's a lot of people at this rally. I thought Mr. Junk wasn't a popular candidate. That just means we chose the right candidate to report on. We'll be the first ones from the Atlantic to write about him. I can see our success already.
Hey guys, want to be part of our selfie campaign?
Maybe later.
Thanks.
Hello, everyone. Please take your seats and welcome presidential candidate Michael Jung.
Wow, it's great to be here. This is by far the biggest rally we've had, and it's because America wants a president who understands the numbers. Now, I'm an Asian guy, so you know I'm good at math. And I'm not like other politicians either. My mother was, of course, really strict when I was growing up, so I make sure things get done.
Yeah!
I believe that America... don't worry about this. Hey, Diana, can we get someone on this? I'm glad we have some Asian engineering geniuses on staff. Anyway, I believe that what America needs is...
uniform.
When I was 8 years old, my sister asked me if I had magical powers, what 2 things I would change about myself. I told her first, I would turn my hair blonde, spinning it like Rumpelstiltskin, into straw, into gold. I actually tried dyeing my hair blonde this winter break, but the dye's for white girls' hair, and only a few lucky strands end up a tan brown, others too stubborn to change at all. And second, I told her I would turn my eyes blue and bright and almond-shaped. I've only ever read about almond-shaped eyes in books, and still to this day I don't really know what they look like. I'm older now, and I know better than to wish for things I can't have, but still, when I take selfies, I first and foremost always squint for the light that makes my eyes look as light as possible, staring straight into the sun like Icarus, too captivated to turn away. I'm older now, and I see that as much as I don't fit this blue-eyed, blonde-haired mold, I'm not quite the perfect small Asian girl either. I'm stuck somewhere in between, still more than willing to gentrify my body, bleaching my thick black hair at night until it's weak and crumpled, and waking up early in the mornings to put on double eyelid tape. After all this, I know I'll never really fit in. When I try to dress like those girls on Instagram, something about a soft girl anime aesthetic has become trendy. I want to look like I belong, but instead I'm told I look like your favorite fetish. I'm just a character out of a cartoon written in a language that you can't even read. I'm just your oriental fantasy, your pretty waist, pretty face, object imported from an exotic place. The culture of my body disappears without a trace. I've got a white and a yellow face, always ready just in case. Guys like to tell me that just because they have yellow fever doesn't mean it's all about race. Then why do I keep hearing that it's such a waste? It's a waste of your looks that you fry split ends of hair and tape your eyes every morning just to be beautiful, until at some point you can't even tell who I am anymore. I just wanted to be beautiful.
So ultimately, the caricature that appeared on our campaign banner is only part of a long history of yellow peril images, from fear of Asian immigration in the 1880s to anti-communist hysteria in the 20th century.
Thanks for the history lesson, Fred.
It's important that we learn about
Oh, hi! Lucille Liu and Francis Pantuani from The Atlantic, right? I'm Hazel, the person you emailed.
Nice to meet you. Journalists, we're finally getting more coverage. We're here to cover what happened at the rally yesterday for our best news feature yet, and also interview the amazing people making this campaign possible.
Oh, I'll go first. Nothing but respect for my future president. And this selfie was with a supporter named Mr. Lin. He's a librarian and writer.
That's lovely. So, you were by the lobby the entire time and didn't see what happened?
Not a thing. I did have some wonderful conversations with local voters, though. Although these days Mr. Jung has been focusing more on wide-scale media coverage, I think it's still important to reach out to Asian Americans and grassroots communities. I honestly can't even imagine being up in the tech booth upstairs like Fred. God, who even wears Adidas track pants that much? Well, I hope I've been helpful. I'll send you the rest of my group stuff later today.
You really don't have
Make that 58.
weird. Is that your girlfriend on your home screen?
No, it's my mom.
So, where were you when Mr. Jung was giving his speech?
I think I was upstairs in the tech booth. All I remember was Diana running in and yelling at me to change projection when the caricature appeared. Don't tell anyone, but I was reading my history book instead of managing lights and sound.
Oh, wow. Anna May Wong, the first major Asian American actress from the 1920s.
Yeah, and she worked within an oppressive industry that stereotyped her in every way possible. Kind of crazy that what's happening now has such established historical roots.
Yeah.
Hello?
Phone calls in.
I'll see you around. stung knowing someone tried to portray Mr. Junk in that caricature, because that's a portrayal of me and staff, too. Could you elaborate on your role as Mr. Jung's speechwriter? Besides writing speeches, Diana makes me sit in the audience and oversee Mr. Junk's performance. Diana? Yeah, she monitors us a lot, but she just wants what's best for the campaign. Are we done here? Yeah, thank you. I just want to express my gratitude once again for your efforts in interviewing us. Of course. So, how long have you been Chief of Staff to Mr. Junk? 4 years. I'm really in awe of how far we've come. From Mr. Junk speaking to only 100 people to crowds of thousands. It's a shame that the racial attack occurred at one of his biggest rallies, but at least it has shown a light on Mr. Junk. Hopefully, they'll see him as the right person to take the Oval Office. Well spoken. Can I ask where you were during his speech? In the audience, where I always am. What did you do when the lights went out? I ran to the tech room to see what went wrong. By the time I got there, the lights were back on, and the horrible caricature was on the screen. If only I got in there sooner. Thank you. We'll let you know if you have any more questions. Anytime.
All the interviews seem pretty ordinary. At this point, we might as well write our article about Hazel's selfie campaign. She sent all 58 voters to the That's us before the rally.
Hold on. Do you see that?
Yeah, the lighting's bomb.
No! Go back to the one before. Zoom in. Is that Diana?
Why is she walking upstairs? She said she was in the audience the entire time when I interviewed her.
Maybe this is crazy, but what if the caricature wasn't a glitch? I mean, isn't it just kind of weird how that awful image was on Mr. Jung's banner?
And Fred did say that lights, sound, and projection are controlled in the tech booth that's upstairs.
And Diana was in there.
Diana always monitors other people, but who monitors her? It's Diana!
It was me. It was you, Chief of Staff, who sabotaged your own candidate's campaign?
Look, it's not a big deal. No, it is. That's disgusting of you.
Disgusting of me? You don't know about the hours we spent writing reports and reaching out to news channels, only for the efforts to go down the drain. We're literally polling 4th nationally, but 13th in media screen time. How else were we supposed to get coverage? Yeah, I did this. I put up the image at the rally. But guess what? Because of what I did, people are going to know about us. For God's sake, even you're here because of what I did.
You did this?
I don't understand.
All people, why you, Anna?
Michael, we're finally getting interviews now. We have these journalists from big publications.
These two are the only ones who showed up. Did you see the new poll that just released?
No.
If we're finally being seen, then tell me, why is Michael Jung not on this poll?
I did it for the campaign.
And it wasn't enough. Do you think I like having to make dumb jokes about being Asian? At the end of the day, no matter how many stereotypes I use, no matter how many racist caricatures are thrown at us, America will never look past the image they've created for us. We will always be invisible.
Bright pink bubblegum hair popping on late Saturday nights. My childhood of superheroes dressed in sailor uniforms and skimpy white tights, fighting evil with magic wands that smell like rose petals and violet skies. The perfect balance of poise and grace karate chopped into the skulls of evil masterminds. Guitar solos played in the soundtrack of my life as I struggled to carry names and phrases too soft for American lines. Learning to look back on a place I could speak but not remember. Everyday Sailor Moon magical girl transformations. so I could sit at the loud cafeteria tables and fit back into my mom's small kitchen tops. And as I danced in my room to soft lilting melodies sung in studios halfway across the world, and watched season after season of good versus evil in cinematic battles, I realized I was growing in a place where anime villains had better redemption arcs than the butchered Asian American narrative. Baby killers and grave stealers washed clean while our yellow skin still haunts our daily lives. Because it's too bad for us that the script is already written by the first generation of murderers, ripping into harsh tongues and ethnic eyes to carve a premeditated history of animated lies. My identity is a myth. A model minority myth of long hours and even longer nights, and I can still see the reflection of my mom's hands, weathered in the evening light, crouched over the kitchen table because she came to a country that promised a better life. My dad starting his days even before sunrise, so he can live in a small building where the ceilings creak every night. You choose to ignore people that have been discarded by a dream, thrown aside because our strong, disciplined hearts are enough. Because our family values of determination are enough, and it hurts in our limbs and bones. We can feel it in the aching hours we've spent trying to fall in love with tall buildings and even taller skies. I grew up with whimsical worlds and stories best told by moonlight, but I was also born with the blood you've spilled since the moment I first opened my eyes, and you don't get to choose which one you like.
Chinese character for mouth, tongue is a box. Ko, the character to go back to is a box within a box. Hui, 我想回家, I want to go back home. So to go back to is a mouth within another, a tongue hidden underneath a sister. Under this tongue I carry another, one that trips through the melodies of Mandarin, that argues with parents, and that over the past few years has folded within itself, mutilated itself, fallen into a state of dystrophy and brokenness. The last time I used this hidden tongue, I was in a different world, an alleged home, a country to which I have inherited loyalty through my blood, through the upside-down characters we hang on the door during the new year, through this passed-on tongue. 2. 我想回家, I want to go back home. That was not my home. I cannot belong somewhere I don't know how to ask for directions, somewhere I am so clearly an outsider, somewhere I'll try to speak in songs and melodies, but come out flat and sharp all at the same time. But here, somewhere I've tried to call home for 16 years, I trip on that outer tongue too. Sometimes a bit of an accent crops up out of nowhere from the many hours I spend at home listening to whole but somehow yet broken English. Sometimes I use a singular verb with a plural noun, or I switch tense mid-sentence, or I accidentally let a bit of Mandarin loose before swallowing it back down. 我想回家, 我必须回家. I want to go home, I need to go home. But when neither tongue is the true tongue, when neither of these boxes fit, where can I possibly call home? 3. 给我姥姥打电话, giving my grandma a call. 你夏天打算回来吗? Are you coming back this summer? Will you come back to garlands of corn on the door and tofu breakfasts and badminton in the garden? Please come see me again. I miss you. 对不起，姥姥. I'm so sorry, Grandma. I'm not going back.
Yes,
One final review of the conclusion and then we'll send to editors?
Yeah.
The fact that Asians are invisible in the media is no new story. But the Jump campaign raises several questions over the efficacy of the stereotypes they use. Is the campaign making America comfortable at the expense of Asian people? Is Jump reclaiming Asian American narratives through his use of model minority stereotypes, or perpetuating white racism?
This article in no way endorses Jung's campaign, but rather recognizes that systemic change is yet to come for Asian Americans, and it may take a long time until we're able to answer these questions. But Asian Americans cannot accept the status quo.
Asian Americans will be seen.
里牵着手，走过荒芜的沙丘，可能从此以后学会珍惜天上和地球。有时候，我会相信遇见有尽头，相聚离开都有时候，没有什么会永垂不朽。可是我有时候宁愿选择留恋不放手，等到风景都看透，也许你会陪我看细水长流。ただ一つ